Good morning. Welcome to the First Universalist Society in Franklin. I'm Lee Minnekelle, and I'm glad that we're together. As we gather this morning, I hope you find solace and rest, rejuvenation and connection, and a moment of peace and the strength to carry on. Wherever you have been this week, whether your heart is light or heavy, whoever you are, whoever you love, be present and welcome. Today's service is our traditional water ritual. I would like to share these words by Reverend Leslie Takahashi, who serves as the lead minister at the Mount Diablo Unitarian Universalist Church in Walnut Creek, California. We gather as many drops. We gather as many drops, each winding our own path down life's surfaces and ruts. Here we pull together as a single body, flowing together for a time. Together, we are a stream, at times, even a river. For with our shared force, we can travel towards oceans of meaning and seas of connection. If you are visiting with us this morning, we are especially glad you're here. Welcome. Please take a moment to sign our guest book in the foyer or our virtual guest book online. You'll find the link in the chat. And now let us join our hearts and minds together as we gather for worship.
Good morning. I add my words of welcome to those of Lee's. I am the Reverend Beverly Waring, and I am delighted to be here as your interim minister. This is a really special service this morning because we celebrate coming together. Some of us for the very first time. Others for the first time since June, or perhaps August, if you enjoyed some of our summer services. And as is the custom in so many of our congregations, we will celebrate this ingathering with a ritual of mingling water into a common bowl. And we're also going to do something that I love to do every year. Diana and I will be doing a blessing of backpacks or book bags. As we gather, we're also mindful of people who are not celebrating this morning. People of all faiths who are grieving the losses and struggling to recover from the massive destruction of recent disasters, such as wildfires and conversely flooding. The people of England who are mourning the loss of their queen who served them for over 70 years. People who still remain without the resource of clean, life-sustaining water that we so easily take for granted. People who are unable to mark this date, September 11th, with celebration. Mindful of all of this and grateful for the abundance that is available to us, let us worship together. My call to worship is adapted from the words of my colleague, the Reverend Gregory Pelly. It's called Thirsty. And so we gather from the ebb and flow of our lives, thirsty for connections to ourselves, thirsty for connections to others, thirsty for connection to a larger life. May all who gather here be filled with joy and hope, filled with compassion and love, and once filled, may we pour ourselves out into the world, knowing we can return to the well of this community and be filled time and time again. I invite you to join in our opening hymn. You should have received with your hymnal the words and music to the Wheel of the Water, and I will turn it over to Michelle.
Here. You've been around a while, you know this song. If you don't, you're going to learn it. There's 5 parts. It's called a partner song. We'll sing through all 5, but then actually we won't. The first part is you're going to stay with your part. You're going to keep singing it. And then this will be part 2. And then you'll be 3-ish, 4-ish, and 5-ish. Okay. So can I have, yep. This is everyone just sing the Wheel of the Water first, and then only they get to sing it. So here's, I guess I should teach each part because there's a lot of new people here. So here's the Wheel of the Water. Ready? The wheel of the water goes round and the wheel of the water goes round. The wheel of the water goes round and round, and the wheel of the water goes round. So that's going to be part 1 that goes over and over and over again. Part 2 is, so it's a little higher, you can sing it down low. I'm going to sing it up, and then I'll sing it low, and you pick your place. Water flows down, down, trickle, trickle down, down. Trickle, trickle down. Or you can go, water flows down, down, trickle, trickle down, down to the oceans, trickle, trickle down. So pick your octave, okay? And then see the vapors rise. You get to do some hand motion. Well, they all have hand motions, don't they? Yeah, the wheel of the water. I forgot about that. You got to do this wheel thing. Water flows down, down, vapors rise. I think you figured that out. All right. Ready? See, ready? See the vapors rise, see them touch the sky. But you guys get to clap. You get the thunder. Ready? You ready to clap, Logan? Ready? Clouds rain down, thunder and lightning sound. Clouds rain down, thunder and lightning sound. And you are springs bubble, bubble up. Springs bubble. All right, let's try this. Good luck. You are first. The wheel and 2 and ready. Somewhat over here. The wheel of the water goes round and round, and the wheel of the water goes round again. The wheel of the water goes. Don't Water flows down, down, trickle, trickle down, down from the oceans, trickle, trickle down. Water flows down, down, trickle, trickle down, down to the ocean, trickle, trickle down. See the vapors rise, see them touch the sky. Again, see the vapors rise, see them touch the skies. Clouds rain down, thunder and lightning sound. Clouds rain down, thunder and lightning sounds. Springs bubble, bubble up. Wheel of the water goes round. Springs bubble, bubble up. Springs bubble. 2 more times, then drop out. Springs bubble, bubble up. Springs bubble, bubble up. Clouds rain down, thunder and lightning sounds. Rise, see them touch the skies. Through the ocean, trickle, trickle down. Water flows down, down, trickle, trickle down. Down to the ocean, trickle, trickle. Everybody. Wheel of the water goes round and round, and the wheel of the little slower. And the wheel of the water goes round and round, and the wheel of the water goes round. Nice shot, thank you.
That was a fun way to start the year. Okay. Each Sunday morning, we share a centering ritual with Unitarian Universalists around the world, the lighting of a chalice flame, along with a brief reflection. If you are participating in the service virtually, we invite you to light a candle or chalice wherever you are calling in from. Please let us know in the chat box that you have lit the flame or show it in your video image. As we light our chalices, I'd like to share this reflection by Mel Hoover and Rose Eddington. It's called All Water is One Water. Water unites us. All water is one water, shape-shifting as it goes on in an unending cycle. The stream we gather by unites us with all the waters of the world, for all of life depends on water. That's why this common, everyday element on which our very lives depend is sacred. In our thankfulness for water, let us remember to honor, cherish, and care for it, for our own lives, for all life touched with water, and for those who come after us. Oh, sorry. And now we will sing together our unison affirmation. We pledge to walk together in the ways of truth and affection, as best we know them now and may learn them in days to come, that we and our children may be fulfilled, and that we may speak to the world in words and actions of peace and goodwill.
Right. Yeah, he's right. Good morning, everyone. Nice to see you here on this September day. My name is Diana Tesney, and I am the Director of Religious Education here at the First Universalist Society in Franklin. And I would like to invite the children to come up here towards the front if they're not already here. So Peggy and Reed, if you guys want to come over here and sit with Tyler and Zoe. And is it Logan? Logan, awesome to see you. Come on down with Grandma. Oh, yeah. You got to sit here because I have a story for you. So, how many of you started school last week or the week before? Many people started school. How many grown-ups started school? Grown-ups in school or grown-ups who are teachers? So this is an exciting time when we are coming back to church and we're coming back to school, and we have new teachers and a new interim minister, Reverend Bev, for those of you who haven't had a chance to meet her yet. And we're also excited to be starting this year together. So I have a story to tell you about one of my first days of school. Can you imagine when it was first day of school? I was a teacher, a brand new teacher at a school in New York. And I was meeting a group of children for the first time. I was working at a school where the teachers traveled through the grades with their class. So I was the first grade teacher and meeting a new group of first graders for the first time. And two of my students were members of a Sufi mosque community. And their mosque was right across the street from the school. And it was the tradition of their community that, oh good, sitting down with Rev Bev, that's perfect. It was a tradition in their community that the new first grade teacher would be when children from their community started first grade, they would invite the first grade teacher to come to the worship service at the mosque and be a guest at the potluck and to address the congregation. So I was super excited to come to the mosque to have the potluck supper, and I was super excited to come to the worship service, and I was super, super nervous to address the congregation, even though everybody was really friendly and nice. I said, "What shall I talk about?" They said, "Oh, anything you want." My goodness. So I worried and I thought, and I prayed, I asked for help, and I said, Great Spirit, I do not know what to talk about with these people. What am I going to say, right? And the answer I got was remind them that learning is sweet. learning is sweet. You guys ever thought about how sweet it is to learn new things about the world? It's one of the most fun and amazing things we can do as human beings. And to learn about the world with a teacher who loves you and with friends who are also on this journey with you, that is sweet indeed. And I have something else to remind you about. Those of you who are kids, you might be thinking, okay, I'm in school and learning is sweet and this is great. Everyone here is also still learning because as Unitarian Universalists, we are charged to be lifelong learners, to be open and curious and willing to discover new things all the time. So that sweetness for us is always available to us. So today I would like you to give you a little blessing as you go on your way out into your life at school. And we have a little gift for you to remind you that learning is sweet. So here is my blessing for you. Hang on. So when I spoke at the mosque, my little speech was very brief. But afterwards, people said, that was a good reminder. Was it good to remember that learning is sweet? Okay, so my blessing, I ask that Great Spirit bless all of the children of this community. The young ones, the older ones, the ones in preschool, the ones in high school. May they have a wonderful year, with open hearts to learning new things. May they have the fortitude to keep practicing and keep working when learning is hard. And may they experience the joy when the light bulb goes off in their minds and learning suddenly comes to them easily. May they listen respectfully to their teachers and to their classmates. And may they always be a friend and a helper to others. Great Spirit bless these children of our community, those here and those at home, as they journey off into this school year together. Amen.
Can I ask you to just stand up and turn around? Stand up and face out that way for a minute. The children. I want you to look around this room. I want you to look at the people you know and the people you don't know. Because I want you to know that everybody in this room cares very much about you. Each and every one of you. They're envious of Logan's energy. I know I am. They're envious of what is before you to learn and to be with other people, learning things in a place where not everybody agrees, but everybody is open and respectful. And I want you to know that we all love you and we care about you. And we're going to be with you. We're going to be with you in your hearts when you're on the bus and when you're in the hallway and when you're on the playground and when you're in your classrooms. We will be with you in your heart, loving you and cheering you on. And in order for you to remember that, because, well, you're too young, but I need reminders of things a lot. So to help you remember, we're going to give each of you your very own special tag for your backpack. And if there are children at home watching us on Zoom, please get in touch with either me or Diana, and we will make sure that we get a tag to you. So Diana is going to hand out the tags now. And while she's doing that, I want to invite the adult students and teachers to please stand up where you are sitting. If you are a teacher or an adult learner, please stand up. And for all of you, I offer this blessing, including Diana, who's a little busy right now. Spirit of life, bless and abide with these adults entrusted with the vital role of educating our children. Bless them with the patience, kindness, and compassion necessary to this task of guiding and teaching our children. Help them always bring their best selves into the classroom, earning the respect of their students and colleagues while appreciating the uniqueness of each individual student. Encourage them as they model healthy relationships and open-minded approaches to learning. We ask that they be kept safe as they travel to and from school and while they are in their classrooms. Give them the courage to ask for help when it's needed and the kindness to help others when asked to do so. Spirit of life, bless these teachers and the backpacks or the book bags or the briefcases that they carry with them. And I invite all of you to take a tag as well as Diana brings it around. Don't apologize, bottle it up and give me some. Of another new church year. It marks the start of a new day here in Franklin, an opportunity to look ahead with excitement and anticipation as we envision the future. We gather on this beautiful September morning, important too, because it marks the anniversary of a day painful to remember, but impossible to forget. I don't need to ask those of you older than 15 or so if you remember where you were or what you were doing the morning of September 11th, 2001. I know that all of you do. I also know that we bring many feelings with us to this gathering today. No two of us respond alike to the loss, to the unknown, to the discrimination that followed September 11th. We bring fear and courage, deep sadness and hope, anger and compassion. We bring concern for the future. We bring gratitude for our lives. We bring the love that overcomes. We bring all of this and more into this time and place. So we gather here on this beautiful September morning and we take time to remember the heroes and heroines, the firefighters and the emergency responders, the co-workers and ordinary citizens who demonstrated such courage in the midst of crisis. We remember the innocent people who perished, our friends and neighbors and thousands of strangers who were victims of random violence. We remember knowing and feeling for a moment that we were connected to each precious life, to the survivors and to those who died, with a bond of shared humanity that the forces of hate we thought could never break. We remember the voices that encourage peace, even as our nation prepared for war. We remember the deaths and honor the lives of those who died defending our country and its democracy these past 21 years. And we raise our voices. We raise our voices still against fanaticism and extremism of any kind. We raise our voices against racism and religious intolerance, praying that the harshness of that day might even now cast a more gentle light, leading to a future where all people can live in freedom and without fear. I know as I speak these words and remind us of where we have been, some of you will be filled with restless energy. Others may feel numb or sad. Whether we feel the power of righteous anger or the powerlessness of confusion, may we vow to use what power we have to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse. May we use our powers in the service of peace and love. Amen, and blessed be.
There is music in the water. It is clear and crystal beauty flowing down the mountainside. There is music in its rushing. There is rhythm in its flow, riding through the quiet valleys where the whispered breezes blow, with a murmur soft and low, soft and low. So beauty, oh,
Greetings from the dogs. Good morning. I'm Jay Rafferty, the chair of the Stewardship Committee here at FUSF. I'm pleased to be here as we gather for the first service of the fall and share waters that will mingle in a traditional ceremony of our Unitarian Universalist Church. This summer, my wife and I experienced riding on rivers in Bordeaux, the Bordeaux, France region, where the waters of the Gironde and the Dordogne came together to produce a wave known as the Mascaret. Closer to home, we took advantage of our swimming pool to deal with the heat waves of early August. I hope you and your family members also had the chance to enjoy special moments during this past summer, whether or not they involved water. But now the fall is arriving, and with it, a change of rhythms as we adjust from the long days of summer to a change of seasons marked by a hint of chill in the air and the return of activities such as work and school. We see this as well at FUSF, where numerous activities are resuming, and our church committees begin to prepare for the new church year. Starting July 1st, the church moved into the new fiscal year, which will continue through June of next year, 2023. Even though fewer people attended the services during July and August, our expenses continued. So this is a time to take stock and review what we need to do to keep current with the pledges that many of us made this past spring. This service may remind you of what attracted you to FUSF as we once again hear songs from the Universal Singers and hear inspiring words from our new interim minister, the Reverend Beverly Waring. FUSF is a place that welcomes people and families from many different backgrounds and is open to a diversity of opinions and ideas. People come to FUSF for various reasons, and many of us have chosen to stay, to participate in activities and call this their spiritual home. We're all stewards for FUSF, and your generous contributions of time and treasure are valuable. In order to continue the work of FUSF, I invite you to make a contribution this morning during our offertory. You can do this by going to the FUSF website and clicking on Give, which will bring up the Tidely app on your phone or computer to make electronic donations. Alternatively, you can send a check in the mail to the FUSF treasurer at the meeting house address. For those of you in the sanctuary, you can add your contribution as the offering plates are passed. Thank you for your generosity.
This gathering of water that we do once a year is a tradition in Unitarian Universalism that I love. Not for the travelogue that it can sometimes become, not for the anxiety that it can sometimes engender when you arrive at this time of the service and realize you left your water at home on the kitchen counter or forgot to gather it at all. What I love first about this ritual is the history of it. The first Unitarian Universalist water ritual was an important part of the feminist movement inside of Unitarian Universalism, and it's closely related to the development of the current Unitarian Universalist principles and purposes. The story goes that in 1975, Lucille Shuck Longview, a member of the UU parish in Lexington, Massachusetts, served as the Unitarian Universalist delegate to the United Nations Women's Year. She returned from that assembly convinced that religion, even her beloved Unitarian Universalism, was a chief culprit in the continuation of oppressive sexism. Back in Lexington, she gathered support, and in 1977, got the Women and Religion Resolution passed by our General Assembly. That resolution called for an intensive examination of the sexism inherent in religious literature and institutions, beginning with the Unitarian Universalist Association itself. It led, of course, to a committee being formed to work on living into that resolution. It was quickly determined that the original purposes and principles written in 1961, laden with male gendered language and failing to address the necessary care for Mother Earth, needed to be rewritten. And in 1985, the principles and purposes that we know today were passed, again, by our General Assembly, complete with the inclusion of respect for the interdependent web of existence as a new principle. That path from 1979 to 1985 was not quick or easy. In between those two benchmark dates, there were countless meetings, conversations, and worship services that served as profound theological and spiritual exploration of the sought after transformation. The first documented water ritual was part of one such service, designed for the UU Women and Religion Continental Convocation held in 1980. It was designed by Lucille Shuck Longview and Carolyn McDade. I'm sure you know that name. Later, they said this about the significance of the service. The water ceremony became the central part of a religious service that broke tradition in significant ways. It was created by lay women, women who had long been silent in the pews. The ritual space was made sacred by the women themselves. They gathered in worship in a way authentic and liberating, not in church pews, but in a semicircle around a large, common earthen bowl. It was a ritual of women being connected by a universal symbol, water, a ritual of women being connected to the totality of life. Here is an example of what one participant shared as she poured the water that she was asked to bring. I bring water from Canada, from the north, from the prairies. This water comes from a river in Winnipeg, Canada, which ultimately flows into the Hudson Bay. The water from this river is very important to me because I live on that river and I observe the constant changes. Sometimes it flows fast and sometimes slowly, quite a bit like my own moods and my own life. I've listened at night to the boom and the crack of the ice floes breaking as winter turns to spring. I've observed with pleasure the blue herons receiving sustenance from its banks. I've enjoyed the river in all seasons, skating in the winter, canoeing in the summer. But most of all, that river is a symbol of the lasting power of life. The physical part of me may die, but the river, my spirit, will live on. Now, the second thing I love about this ritual, what is really important to me about this ceremony, is that it is a reminder that we are all connected here in this community and with the larger world. It takes all of us to collect the sacred water, just like it takes all of us coming together with intention to create this community. It takes each of us being welcomed in and each of us welcoming another to create and energize these connections. What I love is that each and every one of you can contribute. Each one needs to show up in your own way, sharing your gifts and receiving with gratitude the gifts of others. And when we do that, it is so much easier. When we do that, we can start to clean up a mess, like the devastation left by wildfires, or global climate change, or racism, or hard feelings that may still persist within and among you. Showing up and sharing our gifts, as Jay said, it might mean donating dollars. It may mean donating time and energy. Showing up and sharing our gifts may be welcoming a newcomer with a smile and with a genuine interest in knowing who they are. And it may mean helping to create rituals that inspire others and create community. The water that I already put into the bowl is water that I brought with me. Some of it was left here for me from last year. But most of it was water that I brought with me from all of my previous churches. Because every time I do this ritual, I take some water back with me. So it has water that goes back to my very first interim ministry, where we had a similar ritual in Glens Falls, New York. It has water from my home congregation, from when I was active there, and we did this ritual every year. It is water that in my heart and mind brings the love and the good intentions of thousands of Unitarian Universalists, brings them here today into this ritual. So in a moment, Diana and I are going to issue 4 invitations for you to come forward and add your water. Each invitation reflects a different direction, a spiritual experience, or a feeling that you might be identifying with. The first will be the East and the feelings of new beginnings, dawning hope, promises made, and trust being built. The second will be the South and feelings of power and intense energy driving forward, helping us grow. filling us with light and with love. The third will be the west and feelings of the sweat of the harvest time, the nourishing about forward thinking and need for forgiveness. Looking forward to rest and reflection. And fourth will be the north, the feelings of deeply needed rest, a time of preparation, of becoming ready, of dreaming, hopefully dreaming big and imagining the possibilities. You are welcome to come forward more than once because I want you to bring your whole self into this ritual. We also have pitchers of water here in case you forgot at home on your kitchen counter the water that you meant to bring. So after each invitation, you will be invited to come forward. And during that time, when you are coming forward and pouring your water, we get to enjoy more of Michelle's musical gifts. So we call forth the waters of the East, the waters of sunrise and new beginnings, representing dawning hope, trust, and promises made. From where we now sit, this could be water from the Charles River, the Massachusetts Bay, or the Atlantic Ocean. We call on the waters that have nourished young plants. We call on waters of new life. We call on the waters of courage and inspiration that allow us to begin yet again. We call on waters of springtime and freshness. Please bring forth the waters of the East.
We call forth the waters of the South, waters of summer and fullness and maturity, from Buzzards Bay and Block Island Bay, from the Gulf of Mexico, from the Amazon, from the Antarctic Sea, very far south. Bring waters of power and intense energy that drive us forward, help us to grow, fill us with light and life. We call on the waters that calm the parched mouth, that revived the burned brown landscapes, water filled with spirits that power us on. Bring now the waters of the South. Go.
We call forth the waters of the West, waters of harvest and sunset, waters from the Connecticut River, the Great Lakes, Niagara Falls, and the Pacific Ocean. Bring the sweat of harvest time, waters of time of completion. Bring the cooling waters of autumn, nourishing and peaceful. We call on the waters that inspire forward thinking, that ask forgiveness, and that look forward to rest and reflection. Bring the waters of the West.
And finally, now bring forth the waters of the north, the waters of winter, of deeply needed rest. Bring the waters of the lakes of New Hampshire, Maine, and Vermont, water from the St. Lawrence River, from the Arctic Ocean. Bring waters of the times of preparation, of becoming ready, of dreaming and imagining possibilities. We call on the powers of the night, of the peace that comes without bidding, the peace that touches our hearts and renews our spirits. Bring now the waters of the north. Oh.
Like this water, we come from distant places, places half the world away, places half a mile away. We come from different places, from the center of a loving family, from families scarred by tension and distance. We come from different places, from work that involves our hearts and hands intensely, and from the quiet mornings with only a hot cup of coffee, the morning newspaper, and nothing but time stretched out before us. We come from distant places, from dreams discovered and lived, from dreams that have been lost, from joys beyond words and pain beyond bearing. From our many places, we come here. Whether in person or on a screen, we come here to join with one another. Each week, we come traveling far distances to touch again the sources of community, to touch that which, like the water that we have brought, joins us together in one common humanity. In the quiet of this time together, may we pause to know the distance we have each come. All have come a distance, and all have a distance yet to go. Still, here we are in this familiar to most of you place, seeking friendly faces, seeking similar gifts, moments of quiet reflection, the touch of the power that lives within and between us all, a glimpse of peace and a gentle breath of kindness. Let us share in a moment of silence together as we are reminded of our responsibility, all of us, for the planet Earth, for all the creatures that inhabit it, for this community, and for the well-being of ourselves and one another. And by our presence and our good intentions, may this water be blessed. Amen, and blessed be. And now I invite you to join in our final hymn. It is number 100 in the gray hymnal. I've got peace like a river. We are only doing verses 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. I invite you to rise as you are willing and able. As we depart this space this morning or shut off our screens, Let us do so determined to continue seeking that which quenches our thirst for connection. Let us do so determined to fill our hearts and souls with love and compassion and joy and hope. And let us do so willing to share of ourselves as easily as we poured water into our communal bowl. My friends, go with love and go in peace. And I now invite you to sing our farewell song.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jeff Carey. I have the honor of serving as president of your Board of Trustees. I'm doing the announcements. I just checked the box and there was one from March 2020, so I don't think I'll read it. It didn't look relevant. So I'd like to thank everyone who made today's service possible. The worship team, Rev Bev Waring, Diana Tesney, Lee Minichelli, Joan Stableford, and Maddie Rivera-Bellino, and also Jay Rafferty for stewardship. I'd like to thank all the musicians who shared their gifts this morning, the Universal Singers, Michelle Kelly and Ed Barisi. And thanks for the technical support, Russ Goyette, Mary Dennis, Dan Fierick, and Steve Darian. Thanks, guys and gals. Next Sunday, our worship will be Great Expectations, led by Rev Bev. It'll be a hybrid service next Sunday, September 18th, 10 a.m. in the meeting house or on Zoom. This is the point when I would read announcements, but there were none unless I'm mistaken, right? No other announcements. Oh, okay. Go for it. Sure. Yeah. Go.
Hi. Huga is going to resume. Huga is our women's group, and everyone is invited to join us on Thursday here at the meeting house at 7:30 in the cook room. So it'll be our first meeting of this year, and I hope people will come and join us for an evening of camaraderie together. Thank you.
And now we will, as we say farewell, we're going to change for people online, change the Zoom settings so that you will be unmiked and you can hear each other and speak to each other. Please say a greeting to one another, but be prepared that all microphones will be on for the next several minutes on Zoom. And we already did carry the flame, so we're good there. So thanks, everyone. Good to see you all, and have a good week. Take care. Sorry? Oh, Fellowship Cafe is open after service if you're physically here. Thank you.